Alrighty then, let's get straight to the meat and potatoes. Let's see what Van Jones, Mr. Crying Negro Network of CNN, is what it stands for, is up here saying. Let's see.
I just don't understand what metric he's using.
I'm just saying, I don't think the campaign has to go anywhere near any of that, right? This is, in a lot of ways, the same campaign it was last week. It comes down to the three I's: immigration, inflation, and competence. You have Kamala Harris, who's the deciding vote for the Inflation Reduction Act that actually spent trillions of dollars causing inflation. She was Biden's border czar when we've had a record number of border crossings. And in competence, she stood side by side with Joe Biden on every single foreign policy disaster we've had, including the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. She owns that record. That's all Donald Trump has to talk about. The rest will take care of itself.
She's not incompetent. Okay, like you don't become the Attorney General of California.
Or
you
a
don't
U.S. Senator.
Joe Biden was incompetent, incoherent thoughts, but y'all stood by him though, right? Ain't nobody listening to y'all.
Or the Vice President of the United States. By calling her incompetent, you're calling the 81 million people who voted for her incompetent as well.
81 million people did not vote for her. 81 million people supposedly voted for Joe Biden. Come on, man. Where the fact checkers at? Where the fact checkers at for the Democratic Party? Or y'all just try to have them for Trump? Y'all just try to do that for Trump? 81 million people did not vote for Kamala Harris.
But let me just say this. That is what we're talking about. There is a way to attack her record on policy without calling her a name. Incompetent is an unflattering name. And when people do that to black women, that is what Van is talking about. You might not agree, but as a black woman, let me tell you how we hear it.
Well, you know who disagrees are the voters. The voters right now believe the Biden-Harris administration is one of the most incompetent administrations in American history. That's not me. That's the voters right now. They're not just...
Look at her. Look at her face. She want to go off. Y'all are making everything a race issue. He said nothing racist right there.
Saying about the vice president. They're saying about everyone in the administration right now.
Let me get Van to respond to that. Go ahead, Van.
Well, I agree with Ashley. Look, we're going to have to learn how to talk to each other.
I'm sorry. I know I've paused it a few times. Before Van gets to talking, can we give Van a tissue? Sometimes Van needs a tissue on the right side of his screen because he's always ready to tear up. He always tearing up and being emotional. Get that man a tissue and a wipe.
Certain things that there's a smart way and a dumb way to do anything. It's a very dumb way to, after 400 years of this mistreatment of black people and black women, to say you're incompetent. Maybe that makes sense to you in your world and you wouldn't take it that personally, but that has been the slur. That has been the core, that we are not worthy. We're not as smart. We're not as good. We can't do stuff. And so when you have someone who's overcome all of that.
Did he say that, y'all? Did this man right here that just said that, did he say anything about black women or black people not being able to do stuff? Or did he call Kamala Emdoff, call her by her married name, Emdoff? Did he say that Kamala Emdoff was incompetent? I want to make sure I got this right.
Again and again and again and again. And that's the word you pick, incompetent. I'm just going to tell you, it's not going to work as well for you as you think it. And what you're going to wind up doing is getting a lot of people who were not going to vote, who really did not care, who were sick of all of it. People are going to crawl through broken glass to vote against a party who says that about a black woman. Pick another word. Don't pick that one.
This is a stuff.
You know what? I can't do it no more. Let me get back to this screen. I gotta see Van Jones because I gotta see the person I gotta talk to. So let me cook up real quick, right? So what's going on, everybody out there in YouTube world, YouTube land? I am Jay Jones.
It's gonna be a cold
summer. Welcome to the Cold Summer Podcast. So I'm gonna cook up real quick because Van Jones out here threatening this man as if he's big and bad when this boy always up here crying. This boy is always butthurt. Van Jones is always crying for can we say it? Van always crying for the white man. That's what I heard a black conservative perspective say. He always up here crying. And then you got the nerve to sit up here and threaten someone. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to go over well. What? Bro. So nobody can say anything about Kamala Harris now. So that's going to be the new defensive wall, is that when anyone says anything, let's make it race issue. Let's make it a race problem, because we make it a race problem, then the white people get really, really uncomfortable because they don't want to be labeled as a racist, which they don't. So then we just say any name she says, we're going to relate it to all black people. Well, listen here, Van Jones. Crying Negro Network, man. I'm a black person and I don't feel incompetent. When he says incompetent, he's not talking about me. He's not talking about all black people. He is talking about the candidate that is running for the United States. As far as being incompetent, meaning in a political sense. Political sense doesn't necessarily mean in a regular everyday sense, meaning her dealing with, her mom or her dad, but in a political sense, she's incompetent.
Sensational.
So we can call Joe Biden incoherent, incompetent, all these things that he was, which you guys covered up. But all of a sudden, when y'all get an Indian candidate, she's not even black, that she, wants to identify as black when it's convenient, y'all like, we got to stick behind her. We got to protect her. Anytime someone says anything about her, we got to speak up for her. Listen, man, let me tell you something, Van Jones. Mr. Van Jones, it's not going to go over well because most people are not going to fall for the bait and switch and the race baiting that you guys are doing. There are more intelligent black folks out here that are like, listen, man, this isn't a race issue. This is a policy issue. And every time you bring up race, most smart people are going to know that that's what you're doing. They're doing it already. I just reacted to a video where somebody said college sororities, and one of the guys, I think he's on the Young Turks network, it's a black guy, he made it seem like he was saying colored sororities. So y'all are already starting this race thing, man. And see, that's what y'all going to try to drive down people's throats. That's what you guys are going to do. And I don't think that's going to go over well. This is, you know what, man? This is disgusting. Right? You got this black woman up here who gets offended because a man is making his point strong. And you could tell she gets offended by her body language and how she looks at him with her eyes. And all of a sudden, because she has nowhere to go with her conversation, she takes it to race. She takes it straight to race. And what happens with Van Jones? Let me back up my sister. Let me back up my sister. Even though she wrong, I'm going to back her up. Like, yo, are we going to have real conversations about policies? Or are we always going to make this some type of racial issue and how you guys want to call everybody racist? Because if this is the case, there's no need to even start talking about this anymore. Because this is the network that will pull that stuff. CNN is going to pull that stuff. And then your MSNBC is going to try to make it an issue as well. Look at the guy Wolf. He in the middle like. But then you won't call no one like him racist, or if he says something, y'all will give him a pass though, right? But because this guy on whatever, the far guy with the tie on, what do y'all got ties on? The guy that said she was incompetent, I believe he's like a conservative. So they're going to go at him as if he's the guy that's being racist. This is so low level, man. This is very low level, what are you going to call it? Commentary, whatever, political commentary when you want to go to race. And Van Jones, you are so emotional, bro. I have never seen someone on TV that cries as much as you do. And then you cried when Joe Biden got into office. You cried when he had to bow out. You said he picked you out of the puppy pile. You made a grandpa analogy for the man. I'm like, bro, what? Hey, Van, this ain't your daddy, bro. Now, I got a lot of things to say about you regarding Joe Biden, but I'm not. And you trying to get tough with this guy? Nah, Van. Why don't you try to get tough with somebody else? Get tough with somebody else. Watch how Van Jones, when he talks to other like black folks and stuff, watch how Van Jones kind of like, shrinks. But when he talks to someone that he believes that he can kind of talk over, he tries to get all big and bad. Y'all are not about to run this race and gender issue for the next 4 or 5 months, man. For real, man. We are not about to do that. Because if this is what we're going to do, I don't think that that's going to really go over well for the Democratic Party. I don't. Because as long as Trump and his team keeps talking about policy and then you guys keep talking about race, most people are going to start figuring out like, okay, yes, you guys keep talking about abortion and this and that and black and this, but then they're going to say, what else do you have to offer? while the Republicans are over here beating you down with policies, what we're going to do and what we did. I don't think the race and the gender card is going to go over well for the Democratic Party. People are going to get tired of that after a couple months. It's fresh now, but after a couple months, people could be like, man, I'm over all this. So let's buckle up, y'all, because this is what it's going to be like for the next couple months. This is what I'm calling it right now. I can already see it. They're going to try to paint J.D. Vance. They're going to try to paint Trump as a racist. They're going to try to paint these guys as that. And they're going to run on the race card like they did in 2020 during the COVID time. And they were playing a lot of police brutality videos, which goes on all the time. But all of a sudden in that year, there was just more than usual. They're going to run this card until the election. But you got to show up. You got to vote. And again, it's not about the popular vote. It's about the electoral vote.
Sensational.
So I don't know what game that the Democrats think they're playing, but you have to win the electoral vote. Got it? I'm out of here. And like I say, after every video, this is chess, not checkers. And I'm going to see y'all at work.
It's going to be a cold summer.